Chapter 3. Who analyzes Scripture? We must not pick and choose at Scripture. Thus far we had eaten Scripture by dividing it up. Neck as neck, chest as chest, arm as arm, leg as leg, we had eaten the word by separating it out. All the words of blessing were for me, and words of admonishment were toward someone else. All 66 books is God, so are not the words I had thrown away also God? To throw away words because they do not become blessing to me is to throw away God. I had said that the word is God and ate only the things I wanted to eat. If we eat the word by dividing it up, God's likeness cannot rightly come out. Now, no matter what kind of words descend, I must be able to hear them equally. I must throw away the habit of picking and choosing at the word. When I eat all of God's things, miracles arise. Crumbs fell from the rich man's table, and he could not go inside Abraham's bosom. What are the things that I let fall, and what are the things that I accept? If I throw away the things I do not like and eat only the things I like, my spirit becomes ill and dies. I must eat all of the words and digest them so that God can lower me and appear. If I do not receive the words of admonishment, the person inside me who must undergo the rebuke will cling to me until the end. When the seal of the word opens, I must also receive the words of admonishment. The person who must undergo wrath is the one who must be destroyed. And the person who must go inside God's love must be the one who goes inside his love. Whether sweet or bitter to the taste, I must eat all words knowing that they are God. Then God's perfect image comes out of me. As God is precisely the word, wrath, rebuke, and words of warning must all be eaten. God's whipping must be received sweetly because then God's image comes out. No matter who it is, if God's words are spoken through that person, I must be able to receive them with humility. Even if they are words that come out from a young child, I must receive them. God is someone who knows the exact words I need to eat. Can I pick and choose at God? When words descend and I spit them out because I cannot receive them, I die. That is why I must die. I must do my part so that the life of my spirit can receive and eat the word. No matter what kind of words may fall, I must be able to eat them all. I must eat Scripture as a whole. People who are used from era to era were recorded in Scripture. We pick and choose and eat only what we want to eat. From God's point of view, however, all of Scripture is God's righteousness. I, a human, cannot digest all of Scripture. How would I eat King Pharaoh of Egypt or Judas, the disciple who sold Jesus? If I tried, would I be able to eat Cain, who killed his brother Abel? Thus far, we had selected what we wanted to eat from Scripture, but now we must eat as a whole. I must eat as a whole so that the whole God comes out. Until now, I had picked out what I wanted to eat according to my righteousness. I cannot eat them, but when God opens them, I am able to eat. It is because Scripture is God's righteousness. God used Judas Iscariot, but we cannot eat Judas Iscariot with our thoughts. The reason why is because we judge Judas for being used as a weapon of iniquity. But from God's point of view, he was used as a weapon of righteousness. We must open our spiritual eyes now. I must not see Scripture from my point of view, but I must see it from God's point of view. If that one part of Judas was not there, God could not have fulfilled his plan. He could not receive glory. If it were not for the Exodus or King Pharaoh or the people of Egypt, God's glory could not be revealed. They were tools used for God's glory. They were used for God's righteousness. If I see from God's point of view, they are people who took part in the fulfillment of His plan. We are not to eat those people, but I must eat and drink the God who moves from inside those people. However, since we eat only the surface of Scripture, I pick and choose the ones I am able to eat and throw away the ones I am not able to eat. But if I go inside God, all of Scripture enters me. Because they were people who fulfilled God's plan, we eat and drink God's truth, not the people. For 6,000 years, God used many people, but ultimately, it was so that He could stand. Now I must not look at Scripture with my eyes. The time where I see with my eyes has come to an end. I do not eat Scripture at my discretion, but I eat what God gives to me. I must drink the blood and water inside God. I must eat the word that God opens so that I can produce His things. Who analyzes Scripture? John the Baptist is a person sent by God. John the Baptist is sound. That sound is God's sound, the sound of truth. God's truth is one. Yet human beings analyze that sound, the sound of the divine. And what can come out from that? God's things cannot come out by human beings analyzing them. God is a divine. I come to realize His sound only by receiving the stir of the Spirit. Isaiah, Joel, Habakkuk, Jeremiah, Haggai, Zechariah, etc. Sounds that came out of these prophets were sounds of prophecy regarding Jesus. When it became time, such sounds of prophecy became fulfilled just as they spoke. Yet, did even the prophets themselves, who were used by God, know what the prophecies meant when they were documenting them? The divine takes hold of them and uses them. And so the person who delivers also does not understand. 700 years before the Messiah came to Bethlehem, Isaiah the prophet delivered the message. Behold, a young woman shall conceive and bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel. Isaiah chapter 7, verse 14. How much of these words did the person who delivered believe? The sound of God is not something that comes out having analyzed it. As for the sound of God, the sound that comes out is not sound that I am able to know. Things that come out of the calculations from my head are not of God. If I know and believe Scripture as God, I cannot say that I analyze it. He gives me thankfulness, joy, and peace. He is someone who annihilates evil, which is inside me. How are human beings to analyze the Maker? That is not right. To analyze the Word means that I am the Master.